my goodness. It's actually staying on. Sorry about that, you guys. I was like all ready to go, and it kept shorting out on me this morning. So it wouldn't make a connection. So with that said, good morning, good morning. I couldn't put a title in, so we're gonna have to just wing it this morning. You're gonna have to either listen or not, because I didn't, it wouldn't let me put a title in either. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Then I went to my computer to see if I could do this, and then it decided to work on here. So I'm not seeing anybody that's seeing me, so we shall see. All right. I had some tunes picked out too. Oh, there's some people. It was the weirdest thing. So the title of this video is Personal Empowerment with Words of Encouragement. All right. So that's where I wanted it to go with it this morning, but it was just fighting me tooth and nail to even get on here. I guess we could chalk it up to Mercury retrograde, I think. Could be, I don't know. Anyway, I'm playing a song in the background called Cold Out There by John Hopkins. It's one of my favorites. I like to listen to screenplay music and things of that nature. Every once in a while, it just kind of breaks up the monotony for me. And anything that's really, I'll put a copy of it in the comments when I'm done. So anything that can bring us into a centered space is helpful, right? So you probably won't notice me doing this every 2 minutes, because I finally broke down and bought a sofa that didn't have huge 9-year-old butt divots in it, that was breaking my back in half, I swear. So I didn't want to spend the money. I never get all that enthused about buying furniture because I live in my home and my pets are a part of my family, so I don't get nuts and tell them they have to lay on the ground and all that. So I've spent a lot of money on furniture before, and I've spent not so much money on furniture before, and I don't know, it falls apart the same. So anyway, so good morning to you. This is tough if you're in my little neck of the woods. It's very, very cold, and it's very restricting, and it can create a lot of frustration and emotions and challenges, that as if the planets weren't stacking the deck against us as it is, right? You know, we have the weather to contend with. It's nice to see the sun, but usually when the sun's out, it's like 15 below zero this time of year around these parts. So who knows? We'll get through it. We've lived through it before. For me, it's extremely frustrating, because I like to go outside and I like to make my connection with nature, and when I do my walks and that, I don't want to go in and breathe a Legionnaire's diseased air or something. I'm just kidding. You know, inside somewhere at a mall or whatever, I don't get the same flow of chi from, you know, being in that type of setting. So yeah, it's been a little hard. You know, it's hard on my pups too. Anyways, I want to talk about the planets first. This morning, Wednesday, Now let me get this right. Mars and Mercury are going to get in the boxing ring and are going to, come on up here, honey. Come here. Come on. You got to see her. She got a haircut. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Mars and Mercury are getting in the boxing ring on Wednesday. So we want to be mindful that we don't, tangle in that. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. Mama right here. Come on. I'm right up close. Come here. Come on, love. So we don't want to get in the boxing ring with, with that energetic field too. So if we're aware of it, then, we can do a little bit more thinking before we speak. And that planetary trend is going to, it's also going to have us reevaluate, like, who's in our inner circle, who we're interacting with in our tribe, too. We may be, not because of any per se incident, per se, is what I meant to say, any blow-ups or specific incidents, but it's kind of a day where we may reevaluate, like, our own personal crew. Who's been there, who's creating aggravation, who's maybe casting negative verbiage into our little orbit. Look who's here. That's not close enough. Come on, come on, come on. Come, close, close, close. Yes, look at, say hi. Say hi. Look right there. Look right there. Aw. And from time to time we need to do that anyway, and that's going to lead into some of the stuff I want to talk about today. What we bring voice to, what are we selling ourselves, or what is, or what are the people in our inner circle selling us? Is it good for us? So that's what I want to talk about. Look how cozy she is. She says, Mommy, it just sucks so bad. There's no walks. There's nothing to do. I might go to Home Depot later today. One entire loop of Home Depot is a mile. I know this. Personally, but it's a little boring. It's not the same as being out in nature. Anyway, so that Wednesday may be a time where we're reassessing who, all of a sudden it's blatantly obvious to us. It's like, oh, we don't hear from these people for months on end. And then when maybe we do, they need something from you. Otherwise, they don't think twice, kind of stuff like that. And with Mercury retrograde, that's already compounding a lot of aggravation for us, just weird, frustrating setbacks and nonsense. And I ran some errands on Friday, and every step I took, it was, I honestly, I was like ready to start crying in the car. It was just so aggravating, but you gotta laugh it off and realize this is temporary. Mercury will go direct on the 20th, so it's not that far. We don't have that much longer. And when it, right around the same time it goes direct, we'll see the same type of problems. We have to be careful of fender benders and speeding tickets and things of that nature. So, but we're halfway through it now. We'll make it. But then, on Thursday, we have the new moon in Aquarius. And this is a special new moon because it's aligning with Jupiter, the lucky Lotto planet, right? And Venus, which is a planet of love and beauty and all that good stuff. So you may feel a little more fatigued during a new moon. It kind of seems to switch back and forth for me. sometimes full moons will just knock me out for a period of time, and new moons I'm up and I'm having trouble sleeping and that. And so I think it just kind of depends on how it affects your chart personally. But that's going to be a special day in itself. And if you're tired, take a time out, take a nap, go to bed early. Your conscious mind and spirit are receiving a tremendous amount of data during full moons and new moons, right? So maybe you don't need to be awake and aware. Maybe what the mind, body, and spirit requires is for us to shut down, and then we can download the spiritual data, right, from the cosmos, right? So, and you may find yourself just wanting to clean cabinets out or whatever. New moons are good for purging and releasing and getting rid of things. They support that. But this in Aquarius makes it especially magical. Not only that, but is Minga's 21st birthday, my little kitty. Yes, she's going to have a birthday on Thursday. I'm very, very excited about that. So, yeah. Sorry, an itchy nose. So, what I want to talk about, because these are some things that I observed during the week with the people I talked to, is what we're bringing voice to. I know I've touched on this before, but maybe not to this level that I'm attempting to, touch or get to the bottom of today. So, like, for example, I had one girl, kept making an emphasis that, well, I'm insecure, or I have to be in control, or and yet she's a very bright girl, very pretty girl too. Then she'll follow up with, well, I'm working on that. Okay. I like the fact that she's taking ownership of her idiosyncrasies, okay? So in order to even work on them, we have to understand them. We have to take ownership in it, right? So we can't do it if we don't have an awareness of it. So that's like a good step one, okay? There's a step in the right direction. But if we keep feeding that narrative back to ourselves, right? If we keep saying, well, I'm insecure, or I'm a control freak, or then we're confirming the thing that we're trying to move, or the behavior or the emotional challenge that we're trying to move away from. So it takes a lot of practice, though, you guys. So this is and by no means am I scolding anybody, or I just observe things, and I think to myself, I bet you that others would benefit from activating this practice in a positive light. Do you see what I mean? So one of the things that we want to take control of, or saddle up and bridle, stick the spur on the rib cage, right, is what is it that we keep repeating about ourselves, or proclaiming. This is a proclamation, this is who I am, and this is where, and it's like, well, it's not going to help you if you keep repeating it and taking ownership of something that you would like to remove from your lifestyle, right? So we become conscious of that. What we bring voice to can seal the deal. So there's an area that we want to take an inventory and do some self-discovery what are we saying? What are we bringing voice to? Because a lot of times it's just creature habit. These are just things that we do, and we don't realize just how detrimental they can be to our well-being. Okay, well, maybe detrimental was a strong word, but well, it's certainly not helping, right? Anyway. So what I put in the caption that I wasn't able to put in because it kept breaking up and shutting off on me was, personal empowerment with words of encouragement. So in some way, shape, or form, we want to start practicing like spiritual verbiage that creates an influence of well-being. There we go. So, all right. There's another angle about this too. Are we bringing voice to things or making proclamations because we're trying to sell it to ourselves? Well, sometimes that can be good, and sometimes it can be detrimental. A lot of times, I'll notice a woman that needs to verbalize these affirmations of, well, but it's always something coming at them. It's usually put this way. For example, well, they don't like a strong woman. Okay, they don't like a strong woman. Okay, my question there is, do you believe you're a strong woman, or are you selling it to yourself? Because, and there's always kind of an edgy tone to it, as though they don't really believe it either, I've always considered myself a strong woman. As a single mom, I raised 2 sons on my own. I raised them in a farmhouse with lots of animals, and at one point we had horses, and put them through college, and they're wonderful adults. They're like the best men I know. And I've always considered myself a strong woman. That wasn't easy, but I was able to manifest the funds and the fortitude and the ability to get that job done. So with that said, I've never had to make this, oh, I'm a strong woman. I already know that about myself, and you can be strong and you can be kind, and you can embrace that without having to be on the defense, So if that's been something that you've been challenged with, maybe go deeper in, and let's take a deeper inventory on, is that coming from fear? Is there something there that leads you to believe that you have to proclaim that? Because I want you to believe it from your core. All right, come on up here. They are dying to see you in your cute haircut. I might have to pick her up, and then she yells, come on. Hang on, you gotta see this. She's so cute. She's so cute. Oh, with any luck, I won't forget what I was talking about. Come on, honey. Come here. You gotta see how cute she is. Come here. Come on here. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Come on. look at this little pudding paws. Look at these little pudding paws. See, got a haircut. Oh, don't y'all see that? See, that scares people. They don't know you like I know you. They don't know you like I know you. So when you make all those noises, they think that you're mean, and you're not mean. You're sweet. You're just mixed up. Look at, see her little haircut? See? Oh, don't be so hateful. Come on, that's not who you are. You make grumpy, look at her resting bitch face. Isn't it cute? Oh, you were calling to come up here. Oh, feel that. Oh, I can scratch you and you can actually feel it without those dreadlocks, huh? Yeah. See, people have been asking about you. Okay. All right. Keep on moving. There she is. Oh, now she'll come back around. She's thrashing her tail. She's like, well, I never. Come here. Now she's up here. Come here. Come on. Come on. There. Sit. Good girl. Oh, she's right up there now. Yes. Come on, honey. Come on, Kiki. Oh, now she's going to go to the fish tank, and then she's going to go up and look out the window. That's her gig. She's going to go look at the crows. I've got hair on my face. Anyways, so I was asking us to take some inventory on what we're bringing voice to, and maybe where it might be coming from, and if it's fear-based or if it's, if there's some kind of deeper thing going on there, and with that said, I think I pretty much covered up that part of it. Covered that. I didn't cover it up, or like on a cover up. Covered that angle of where I was trying to go with that. So proclamations can be really good. If they're not something that we feel like we're on the defense about, like, are we selling this to somebody, or is this really true? And when we want something to become true or integrate that into our lifestyle, sometimes we have to kind of sell it. You know what they used to say, fake it till you make it? Sometimes we have to do that for a little while. But I mean, this has been going on for 10, 20 years now. You want to possibly try a different approach, and that comes from self-love. So we want to stay in that vein. Doesn't have to be angry, or it doesn't have to be on the defense. We just open our heart and open our solar plex up and just receive it differently. And then you'll carry it, and that's a signal you'll send out, and that's what others will receive. Because we're all sort of working on like frequencies, So if we're sending a frequency of confidence, that eventually becomes our reality. Do you see what I mean? And if it comes from a place of love and authenticity, then we absorb it quicker, right? So, but then I had a memory of something. There's this one, I'll put one of her videos in the thread. There's this one doctor I listen to on YouTube that does a series of videos on narcissism. Very informative. She covers topics all the time, and like I said, I can't think of her last name. I'm not even sure I can pronounce it, but I'll put a video in the comments so I can turn you on to her. And she was talking about people taking your power away by casting things on you, with their verbal. So as long as we're going into this in-depth study about what we're bringing voice to, and are we sealing this fate, or are we actually releasing it, something that isn't complementary to our our well-being, right? We also have to be cautious of who we're navigating around and who we're allowing to, you know, orbit our circle, and how we're allowing to be treated, whether this be in a friendship, a family member, or even a, you know, a love relationship. Because sometimes I was just kidding, dig. Oh, I didn't mean it like that, ping. You know, are you going to put up with that? But this video I was listening to invoked a memory of, well, I guess I'm going to wiggle around a little bit till I get used to this one. Invoked a memory of back in high school, right? And I took a creative writing class, and one of the first things I was really excited about, I loved English, I loved literature, I loved books, so I was really excited about this class. And one of the first things our teacher said to us, his name was Mr. Elke, I'll never forget. He said, he got up in front of the class and paraded around by the blackboard, and he said, none of you will ever be published. Okay? And I thought about him because there were so many times I was like, I wonder where that guy ended up. Because kicking and screaming, I didn't even want to write this. I didn't even want to do it. My schedule, it was just another thing, another log on the bonfire of things that, you know, being a single mom and trying to get my kids raised properly and educated and, you know, safe, and vehicles and car insurance, and with teenage boys it was so challenging. But I ended up writing a column, an astrology column for our local newspaper for 24 years. And this video that I was listening to, where she was explaining how, you know, people can cast things at you that are not good, you know, not good for our well-being and our growth and our development, with their little digs or their little know-it-all, whatever, and to kind of pull the rug out from under you. And I thought I had that memory of him saying that. And I was like, well, I sure made a liar out of you, didn't I? You know? How would he have known if anybody in any of his classes were going to become an author, we're going to become a newspaper columnist, we're going to become any number of things? You know, that was his insecurities and his nonsense that he projected on to a class of willing and open students who, this was an elective class, who picked this class for that support, right? But yeah, it made me think about him in a funny way. So not only do we want to be mindful of what we're repetitively speaking to the universe, but we also want to be mindful of what we repel, and who the people that enter our orbit that may be casting detrimental spells at us, like spiritual spells. Do you see what I mean? So, you know, when you find yourself in a place where, and the tricky part is when it's family, because, you know, we the whole Walton's Mountain thing, and trust me, it's not like that out there. I know, I've talked to people for the past 40 years, their biggest heartache is their family, their sibling that doesn't speak to them, or this or that or the other. Do you see what I mean? And what those people have many times the greatest power. because we want that Walton's Mountain. We want the 25 people at Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. But sometimes, because of their own insecurities or maybe their narcissistic tendencies or whatever the case may be, they don't want to see you moving forward with this happy and open and positive perception of your world and your life and how you choose to live it. So they want to yank the rug out from under you. So when you find yourself be mindful of that character too. And let's not get all worked up and feed their supply by being overly reactive or angry, because then you're falling right into their trap that they're not even aware of. They set. This is just who they are. This is how they, they're like a shark swimming in an eating machine. Wherever they can receive this type of supply, whether it's good or bad, they'll take it. See what I mean? So, all right. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Starting the practice of what we bring voice to, and we're all gonna slip. We're all gonna have setbacks. We're all gonna have a bad day. We're all gonna, go through that. But practicing what we bring voice to, and when we find ourselves repeating the same narrative, verbiage, well, I'm a control freak, and everybody know, and it's like, well, and I'm working on it, very good. Then let's stop making that our truth. See what I mean? Let's redirect what we're bringing voice to. And we're going to slip up, and that's okay. I know. But, yeah. Just want to make sure I made some notes today, too. I slept good last night for the first time in a week. Whew, that was refreshing. So, just be mindful what our proclamations are. Are our proclamations positive? Are they reinforcing our goals, like in a positive direction? Are they doing that? Or are they based on fear, frustration, or I don't know, any number of things. So sometimes it's just good to just sit quiet for a bit and take a little inventory on what's going on with that, because it's helpful. And we also want to be mindful of the type of verbiage. Are we saying you always or I never and that kind of a thing? Well, there's no such thing as always, and there's rarely anything such thing as never, right? So, as long as we're, and I don't mean that you have to nitpick everything that flies out of your mouth. Just make a conscious effort to redirect that. If you're vocalizing victimism, I think that's right. If that's what you're vocalizing, that's going to continue to be your story, right? And nobody deserves that. Nobody needs that, So, okay. Valentine's Day is going to have some really strange frequencies. Sensitivity and miscommunication and it's not going to be the best, or just screw ups, basically, just the reservation or this or that or whatever. Mercury retrograde's going to be a little tough on Valentine's Day. So my advice to all of you is maybe keep your circles very small, or stay within your own orbit during that time. I'm not saying it's volatile, because that's not the vibe I'm getting with it. It's more of a, misconceptions, miscommunications, and frustrations because of it. So maybe it'd be good to lay it low and maybe reinvent your Valentine's dinner for midweek next week or the following weekend or whatever. You see what I mean? So, well, that was really all I had to say, I think. I think I covered everything. I can give you a little example, and I have to be very, very careful because I really don't want to call this person out per se. But I participated in choosing my words carefully, a group meeting with a woman who claimed to be an animal communicator one time. And I was observing the things that she was saying to some of the other participants in this group that was kind of disturbing and negative, okay? And so I had to bite my tongue, and I was being really careful not to plow over this person either. There really was no animal communication at all going on. There was some weird kind of health. Hold on. She was more talking about their health and not making a connection with what they felt, okay? Which, for one, some of the things that she was saying weren't very accurate, right? And so then when it came my turn, because I was one of the later ones in this group, she started attacking like my pet's health. And so here she is, she's casting things, and there was a significant incident that was going on with Andante. She had a joint mouse, right, in her shoulder, and so it was making her sore and making her a little limpy. And, so she looked at the picture, she saw it was a German Shepherd, and she went right to the hips and started in with the hips, and I'm like, no, she doesn't have anything going on with her hips. And so at this point, I was like, okay, this, and her hips have been x-rayed. None of my dogs have had any hip things, but that's a rumor that goes around, right? And she didn't pick up on the joint mouse at all. She didn't pick up on anything. She was just basically, spewing out negative challenges that were going to be cast upon our pets. And so when it came to it, this time, Scout was still a puppy, not a little puppy, but she was still very young. And so I was like, no, you don't need to say anything about her. She's fine. I don't need a reading about her at all. Please just stop, And so she started in with her, and she said that Scout didn't like the other pets that she lived with, which is not true at all. You guys have seen the pictures of her and the kitty and how they cuddle. And anyways, I digress. But then she started in with that there was going to be a problem with her hips, because she's a shepherd as well. And I said, well, you know what, I'm just going to have to say out of law to that. And then she came back with, what did you say? And I said, I'm good, right? So I had to say out of law to that because I couldn't allow her to cast her preconceived notions from some veterinary book somewhere or article, right, onto my pets. Do you see what I mean? And so that was an example for me that, and you guys know how I feel about my animals, where I was like, we have to be careful who we entrust with our hearts and our families. And do you see what I mean? We can't just have anybody coming at us with that nonsense, right? So, and like I said, family and sometimes friends, when they have something that's going on or isn't going maybe in the right direction for them, we may become a target, an inadvertent target of their verbal assaults, I guess, right? So now I didn't mean to make this out like some kind of finger pointing, bitch slapping energy at all. I want this to be a positive experience, but sometimes we have to point out, the icy spots on the road as we're moving forward to our greater good, right? And we want to be mindful of that and what we may or may not be bombarded with, as well as what we're bringing voice to that could be restricting us from our greatest good, right? So, okay, I think I covered it. So you guys ready for Super Bowl? I don't know. I watch it for the commercials, and I guess a lot of the companies have pulled their advertising to donate money to food banks and things of that nature, which was a very positive place to put those resources, I believe, so, but I usually make my chicken wings on Super Bowl Sunday. It's more about the food for me, but I don't know, with this cold, I don't know if I'm going to gather the gumption to get out there and actually trash my kitchen, but I might. But in either case, let's try to maintain that balance and that flow and stay peaceful with the current trends that we're moving through. I tell you to get out with nature, but in some parts of our country or in our world, that's a little challenging right now. So we have to find ways to bring that mental clarity and the mind, body, and spirit connection together, all right? And to stay well here, not just here, right? We need to stay well here. This is a recipe for disaster with all of this compounding challenges that are going on. So we need to bring in what we can utilize and repel what doesn't work for us. Spring will be here soon. It will, sooner than we realize. Okay, all right, you guys, I want you to stay well. Take your D3. Make sure you're eating immune boosting food. That's always a tongue twister for me. And get outside when you can. All right, maybe yoga, maybe meditation. Not everybody can just do the meditation. Like, it doesn't even really come easy for me. I have to use some kind of guided resource for that. But yeah, so I think I covered it. All right, I love you guys. Keep keep yourself glued together. We've only got till the 20th, and then Mercury's going to go direct, and then we'll start to see better, sunnier climes and better energy coming through, you know, coming into spring. So, on that note, okay, right, are we ready? Mind, body, spirit, connection. Take care. See you next week at 11:11. I don't know what was going on with the Facebook Live this morning, but I finally managed to get on here without further ado. So, all right. See you next week, love. Take care.